Thank you so much. And I have the pleasure and the most esteemed privilege of welcoming a close friend, Dr. Ravi Khanna. Can I have the slide for Dr. Ravi
Yes,
Khanna,
sir.
please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Dr. Ravi Khanna needs no introduction to our group, but for the sake of the other participants who are in this communities of practice webinar, we would like to introduce Dr. Ravi Khanna. Dr. Ravi Khanna is an eminent neonatologist and a pediatrician with over 31 years of experience. And he is one of the leading, neonatologists in the area of Western Uttar Pradesh. And he works and practices in the town of Bareilly in Uttar Pradesh. He is the director of the Vatsalya NBCC Center for Newborn and Child Critical Care. And Dr. Khanna has got a NNF accredited NABH certified tertiary level neonatal ICU PICU, which is equipped with state of art equipments, including inhaled nitric oxide, cerebral function monitoring, point of care ultrasonography, functional echocardiography, HFO, conventional ventilation, and as you would have rightly guessed, his main forte is his network of neonatal ambulances, which he has developed as an innovative model. And we have invited Dr. Ravi Khanna here today to share his extensive experience about spreading and innovating a neonatal transport system in the town of Bareilly and in the entire Western Uttar Pradesh with minimal resources and with a lot of innovations and state of art technology, and which has evolved over decades. So I have the pleasure of inviting Dr. Ravi Khanna. I would not keep myself between you and Dr. Ravi Khanna. Dr. Ravi Khanna, sir, the screen is all yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vikram, sir, for the kind word and answer topic. I think which is a topic that is dear to my heart. And probably, as you will see as the talk unfolds, lot many things have been out of the box and everything. So let's start with the next one. So neonatal transport, sustainable innovative model, learnings from a peripheral standalone setup in Uttar Pradesh, India. So if I say peripheral alone setup, let me see what is it. My background as peripheral standalone neonatal unit in UP. NMR in India in 2019 was 21.7 per 1,000 live births. In Kerala it is 6. However, in Uttar Pradesh it is 31.7. You can imagine the magnitude of the problems. It is 5 times in UP as comparison to Kerala. In Bareilly, we have a harsh summer months where temperature soars up to 48 degrees centigrade. Long winter months, 3 months, where temperature drops down to as low as 2 degrees centigrade. The roads are bumpy. Most of the roads are very ill-kept. There are a lot of obstacles in between. And general public is not aware of the safety of transporting a neonate in a proper neonatal ambulance. This is the biggest stumble that we are facing and that we have faced. Our charges, therefore, should match with the charges of a routine ambulance. You cannot say, "Get mine is a neonatal ambulance, so I will charge more from you." You have to at par with them. General population at large is financially poor. That is another factor which is very important from my point of view as a peripheral setup. So that's my hospital. It has been accredited by National Neonatology Forum, entry-level NABH pre-accredited, and 31 years in the service. And this was not built in a day. The Rome was not built in a day. I remember when I came to Bareilly about 31 years ago, I had just completed my MD. I joined a Clarkson hospital here and I was being paid a mere 2,100 rupees per month. And when I left after 3.5 years, I was being paid 3,500 per month. That was my start. I came from a middle class background. My other brothers, they are also engineers, they are engineers. So my father said, "Dekho beta, tumko padha sakte hain, aage humse ummeed tum mat karna." And that's what it is. I know how financial crunches are. So when I left from Clarkson Hospital after 3.5 years, I had 32,000 rupees with me for my savings over 3.5 years. And from those savings, gradually things started building up. हम कमाते गए, लगाते गए, कमाते गए, लगाते गए. तेरा तुझको अर्पण, sort of our philosophy has been तेरा तुझको अर्पण. We earn from the patient, we give back to the patients, like that. So this is the present setup which I'm having. This is my nursery, which has been accredited by the National Neonatology Forum. The range of services that we offer is, as Vikram sir has already told, point of care ultrasonography, functional echocardiography, HFO, INO, CFMs, routine ventilation, and therapeutic hypothermia. We also have surgical, we also do operations in our operation theater. Just now when I came, there is a baby who has been operated upon just half an hour ago for malrotation with gangrene. So our drainage area of the services, it ranges from 500 meters to 250 kilometers. It depends from where the call comes. So that is what our range of the transportation is. Critically ill newborns are transported to alternate locations to obtain additional care, whether technical, cognitive, or procedural, which that is not often available at the existing location. A bitter lesson that we learned over the years was a seriously sick neonate, once beyond a critical stage, cannot be salvaged despite all the paraphernalia at their disposal and all our heroic efforts. So there's a critical window period. There's a critical time and in a critical window condition in which the bacha should come to us when he first present to us in the nursery. So if he is beyond that stage, as we will see later in the talk, then all this nursery is just nothing for the baby. You do everything, baby will not be safe, will not be salvaged. This is a better lesson that we learned. That is why we went into transportation. In critically ill neonate, the final outcome is highly dependent on the effectiveness of the transport system. That's how we started thinking of, we should have something. We used to get babies because ours was a center which was giving very good facilities over here. But the babies we received were in a very poor shape. Hardly they would be salvageable. It was really sick and it was really, it used to make us sad. We could not say because baby came in a very, very low position when he initially presented to us. So in the year 2004, about 17 years ago, we made first humble effort in neonatal transportation. Now we have very good NNF guidelines, as we see in the screen. And they are doing a human service in providing clinical practice guidelines, how to make out, give us a theoretical background, some practical tips and all that. Unfortunately, no such guidelines were present before 17 years. So most of the thought process that went into making our first neonatal ambulance came from our experience and out of the box thinking. Please excuse me for any lacuna, discrepancy, shortcomings. See, there are times it is they don't realize this can happen because there are so learned people who are attending this webinar. But let me tell you, I do not stand anywhere in front of your knowledge. I do not stand anywhere in front of the vast experience that you may have. So please excuse me for any shortcomings. There would be many, as you will rightly pointed out. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to improve. And I'm willing to improve upon these things. So the first ambulance came in 2004. Encouraged by the results, we stepped up to a tempo traveler in 2007, eco ambulance in 2010, tempo traveler in 2012. Another ambulance because that was getting old. And finally, in the year 2019, we have made a Tata Winger ambulance. This is an ambulance which is very close to my heart. I will tell you how is it so, because we designed this ambulance in our own premises. The story of Sita. Can this go away? The story of Sita. Baby Sita, when she came to us, she was 3 days old. This is a baby, she made headlines all over the world. She was found buried alive in a grave for nearly 3 days before she was discovered. She was 1.1 kg, approximately 32 weeks. This is a picture when she got discharged. This was covered with the BBC and others. However, what was the situation when she came at the time of admission? She was referred to us from District Hospital Bareilly, not very far off. 1.1 kg, 32 weaker, at a temperature of 92 degrees Fahrenheit, blood sugar 4, CRT more than 5, and SATs 81%. And she is not the only one. She is not the only one. Most is the same scenario all over the India, everywhere. in most of the places. The same scenario. Facilities are dismal, and bachcha are transported without pre-transport civilization, without care during transportation. There is lack of neutral ambulances, so they are transported any vehicle that moves. This is ambulance, and they're often shunted from one facility to another because there's a lack of neutral beds and there's a lack of neutral ventilators. Nearly 75% of transported babies arrive at the referred center in a state of hypothermia, hypoxia, hypoperfusion, and hypoglycemia, which is associated with high morbidity and high mortality. So the outline of my talk today is which babies need transport, what are the different modes of transport, special requirements of critical ill needs while being transported, why newborns are different from the other patients, how to meet those special requirements, how to organize the neutral transport system service, and special situations during transportation, and medical legal issues related to neutral transport. I hope to cover them one by one. So the common indications are prematurity, HIE, sepsis, and respiratory distress. And there are a lot many other indications. I will not go into detail of it. Everybody knows, and with the experience, everybody learns. So transport of a neonate could be inter-hospital, it could be intra-hospital, that is within the hospital. Modes could be road transport, air transport, water transport. This is a very advanced life support ambulance, a cardiac ambulance that we say. But this ambulance cannot transport a newborn safely. So the neonates need a special ambulance. So what are special requirements of a newborn when they are being transported? One thing is maintenance of a thermoneutral temperature, adequate oxygen supply, airway maintenance and ventilation, monitoring of pulse, oxygen saturation and blood pressure at least, acute IV fluids and inotrope infusion, provision of emergency medicines and drugs, good power backup, and above all, sepsis. Provision for the procedures like putting in intracath, suctioning, emergency intubation, umbilical cannulation, pneumothorax drainage, aerosol therapy, and there should be proper illumination for observation, procedures, pneumothorax detection, etc. So the key components of needle transport system is vehicles and equipment, very important. Then human resources, communication and consent, and feedback to the referring unit. The most important component to my mind in neonatal transport is a neonatal ambulance, which should fulfill all the special requirements of a sick newborn. It should be economical and should be sustainable. However, ready-made neonatal ambulances and designs are not available, even to this day. So there are various types of vehicles which can be used for neonatal transportation. This is one is from the Columbia, from the Children's Hospital. The chassis alone costs nearly 80 lakhs. Fully loaded costs around 1.7 crores. And life of an ambulance and the equipment is approximately 8 to 10 years at the best. So if we consider this cost, the feasibility in India is very, very poor. We can't afford, though we would like to. चीज अच्छी है, पर हमसे भैया हो ना पाएगा. So feasibility is very poor for us. So which is the most sustainable vehicle for neonatal transport in Indian scenario? One important thing which we should always take in consideration is the road conditions. Our road conditions are at the most very bad. So ambulances with monocoque suspensions are preferred because when there is sudden braking, there is a lateral roll and the front back impact, which is minimal when the sudden braking takes place. There is a lateral roll of the vehicle and front back impact, which is minimal if the structure of the ambulance is a monocoque suspension. Everything moves as a whole. It doesn't have कि वो आगे जा रहा है, गाड़ी पीछे से पकड़ रही है, गाड़ी आगे भाग रही है, ब्रेक पहले लग रहे हैं. So it should be a monocoque. Everything moves as a whole. That's monocoque suspension. So what are these ambulances? That is, could be a force motor. It could be a Tata Winger. Force motor costs 16.5 lakhs. Tata Winger costs 12 lakhs. But the advantage is it comes fitted with a AC. With force motor, you have to put in extra money to put in a AC. Then there are other vehicles like the Eco, Scorpio, and Bolero, costing 7 lakhs to 5.5 lakhs. Our first internal ambulance was a Maruti Omni. At that time, it cost us 2 lakhs only. So the most important thing during transportation is the maintenance of the temperature. We all know temperature instability is the most dangerous thing. Per 1 degree decrease in temperature admission increases mortality by 28% and late onset sepsis by 11%. So this is what the thing is. At any temperature, if it is less than 96, is it 97 cause of concern, 96 danger, 95 outlook is very grave. And as we see, baby Sita, she came to us when she was 92 degrees. That is what the state of affairs. The most important thing is to maintain the temperature. So how can it be done? It can be done by a transport incubator with an inbuilt battery. But the disadvantage is this transport incubator occupies, you can see, a lot of space. So no space is left to fulfill other requirements for transporting. For example, an ambulance, see, we can't afford to have a dedicated neonatal ambulance. We have to transport children also at times because that is the need of our hospital. And we transfer most of the time neonates. So no space is left. Where do you keep a child also? This transport incubator is always there. So where do you keep a pediatric patient? So that is the problem is. Secondly, it is bulky. Transport incubator is bulky. It weighs nearly 50 kg when fully loaded, and it needs 2 strong persons for loading. So, as a standalone periphery setup, we cater to children as well as neonates. We therefore needed an ambulance which could transport both a neonate or a pediatric patient as per the requirements. So, what was our answer to this? We can't go for a incubator, but we have to maintain a temperature, a good temperature maintenance. So what was our answer? Our answer was a combo bed, a radiant warmer fixed at the overhead to the roof of the ambulance, of course, with the skeleton which supports the weight, not to the roof. There is a steel structure which holds this thing. It saves the space. And same ambulance, as we can see, it can transport a neonate. It can also transport the need arise a pediatric patient. So that was our answer to this. And it was an Omni ambulance. There was hardly any space in it. But still you can see, we can transport both the patient very well. This stretcher was all designed. This stretcher is the beautiful part of the stretcher. This is on a pipe. This baby, suppose it's a big child, he's on this thing. You just take this up and the whole stretcher comes out. It becomes a stretcher also. The bed becomes a stretcher. Then we can use Embrace infant warmers for quick transfers from OT or to labor room to NICU. We also can use NeoNest. We are using this in our ambulance because in Embrace there is it needs a big. This needs a lot of space to keep, and it should always be keep open. It should be kept on. To charge this warmer pack, the phase change material, to keep it warm, this should always be keep in an on position. So when you need you just take it out and go to collect a baby. So that means the constant power supply is being consumed, whether you need it or you may not need it. We usually go for the NeoNest. I will show you the photographs. This is our ambulance, and this is a baby here, and this is a NeoNest over there. This is being space has been made to put up a NeoNest. So it is a rechargeable battery. It's a carbonated heating system. The battery is pre-charged. So you just take this out, hang it on your shoulder, take the baby in his wrap, and the baby keeps warm. So we are using this, we're preferring this. Then other options are thermocol boxes, plastic wraps and bags, phase change mattresses, phase change gel mattresses, which release latent heat of crystallization. This releases a lot of heat, but then it is uncontrolled heat. If they are available in the market, tick, tick, they do just a tick, tick, they start releasing the heat. But then it is uncontrolled heat, they're really afraid of. Or we switch on the heater blower of the vehicle to maintain ambient temperature 26 to 28 degrees centigrade. In our Maruti Omni, that was the problem. It didn't have any heater. Even to this day, the ambulances which are coming, be it Force, be it Tata Winger, you will be surprised, they've got an air conditioner. but they don't have a blower, heater blower. It is something surprising. It is available in car. When you go in a car, you can use a hot, you can use a cold AC. But in case of ambulances, sadly to this day, air conditioner is there, but we don't have a blower to warm the ambulance during the cold months. Another is skin to skin care. When nothing is there, skin to skin works very fine, KMC. Then the very important thing is oxygen. I think with the crisis, current COVID crisis, everybody must have realized how important oxygen is to maintain a life. So what we should know is how long a cylinder will last. People make mistakes. People think, "अरे बहुत oxygen भरी हुई है, चल रहा है, मेरा काम हो जाएगा." So let me tell you, at 4 liters per minute, a portable cylinder like this one, which contains 25 liters of oxygen, lasts for half an hour. And when I say oxygen cylinder, that means it should be filled up to a pressure of 120 pounds per square inch centimeter, per square inch, 120 psi. This is the requirement of a fulfilling of a full cylinder. In the current COVID crisis, many people have done that. Cylinder भर दिया, कितना भर दिया? 50 भर दिया, 60 भर दिया, and they given it to the relative. लाओ ले जाओ, तुम्हारा काम हो गया, भर दिया. Oxygen is coming. People are not, they don't realize, they're ignorant, bichara. So instead of 120, they are given 50, they are given 60. Only relatives, they come, they open the cylinder, and within no time the cylinder gets empty. So that's what Kalabajari people have done, black market people have done. So we should know a portable will contain only for oxygen which lasts only half an hour. The normal E-type, which contains 625, normally that we see in our wards, at this rate, 4 liters, it will last for only 2.5 hours. Jumbo cylinders or the H variety, which contains nearly 7,000 liters, at the rate of 4 liters per minute, will last for 28 hours. We must have at least one, preferably 2 jumbo cylinders installed in an ambulance. There should be no crisis of oxygen while the ambulance is traveling, because that is disastrous. So how do we place? Jumbo cylinder is quite large. Can you see is near the height of a person who is standing. So how do we adjust such a large cylinder in an ambulance? That is how we have fitted. We'll show you the photograph. That is how we have fitted it. So it was very crude efforts. You can see this oxygen cylinder. We are attached to with an oxygen meter, and there's a bottle which has been tied for bubbling purposes. So that was our initial efforts for to put up. Now what we do, we have got a fixator. In our new ambulances, we use fixator like this to tie up the oxygen, to keep the oxygen. It should not roll while the ambulance is moving. And heavens forbid, if ambulance breaks suddenly and the ambulance and the cylinder travels forward and breaks open the cabin wall. So it has to be fixed very securely. So we are using this nowadays. So in the second eco ambulance, we have placed 2 cylinders, and we have made provision that they should not do a lateral roll while braking. They should not move forward. The fixation was good. And these are 2 options. We'll use the other one. That was the thought process. Now what we have done in our latest ambulance is, we have got 2 oxygen cylinders, jumbo cylinders, both are fixed and both are running independent of one another. Suppose this goes out, it finishes off, you don't have to go and change the whole thing. Just the alarm will ring over there, that pressure is falling. You just there is a handle over there. You can always easily switch over to this. So there is no hassle, no panic. See, recently what happened in Goa? Many patients have died. Today the figure is 74. The High Court is asking for the explanation. What has been found was most of the patient had died when the oxygen cylinders were being changed in the main line. See, because there's a drop of pressure, ventilators are running, HFNCs are running, there's a drop of pressure, they will not function. And within no time, in a span of 6 hours, nearly 14 patients died. And oxygen was there, but when they are doing a changeover, so that took the toll. So this is a arrangement to it. There is a meter over there which shows the exact oxygen gauge, the pressure at which the oxygen is supplying, and it gives an alarm also. The moment alarm turns, just stop it, open this. That's all. And oxygen panel. How many outlets? So I reminded of Baba black sheep. How many? Have you any wool? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full. One for my ventilator, one for the CPAP, and one for the little baby who's in distress. So at least 3 oxygen points should be there in an ambulance. Airway maintenance, suction machine is very important. And it should be a rechargeable battery operated to save the power. You can't use the power of the inverter or the power of the ambulance to do a suctioning. And there should always be a standby suction systems. Nuclear transport ventilators ideally should be capable of delivering a minimum tidal volume of 2 ml. However, easier said than done. What is most popular is a gas powered ventilator because they do not require any power to run. Disadvantage is hardly any place for a compressed air cylinder in ambulance. See, there is a maramari of the space for the oxygen cylinder. How to put an extra air cylinder to maintain the FiO2 to give a blended oxygen. So blending is most difficult, and minimum FiO2 possible minimum is 40%. You can't go below that. And we all know the fears and the dangers and the hazards associated with the free oxygen radical injury. ROPs, BPDs, and all that. So ideally, a transport ventilator should be delivering 2 ml, and turbine-based ventilator is the answer. See, in gas-powered, you cannot go below this. You cannot put up a compressed air cylinder in ambulance. So what is the answer? Answer is a turbine-based ventilator, which do not need compressed air for running. There is accurate blending of oxygen delivered at any point of time, and it prevents oxygen-free radical injuries also. But it comes with disadvantage consuming power, which could be from 50 to 150 watts. There is one ventilator which has been installed in our C2 ventilator is in our ambulance. Not many, but good transport ventilators, they should always be able to provide NIV, non-invasive ventilator, which is the in thing. Why should we go for a endotracheal intubation and all that? If a baby appears to be fairly stable, he needs CPAP, a little bit of support, you can always go for a non-invasive ventilation by using a Ram's cannula. So these ventilators provide this. They have got a mode to deliver that. Humidification during transportation is really a problem. See, because humidifier is bulky, it consumes a lot of power. So what is the remedy? In the short-term transportation, hardly matters whether you humidify or you do not humidify. But if you're taking a patient for a 6-hour drive, for an 8 hours journey, then you cannot use this very easily because it consumes a lot of power, and it also, we are really afraid of infection going in everything with water and everything around. So the answer is a remedy is neutral HMEs. These are available and many people have not used it, but let me tell you my experience. I have used it for many, many years. Even today I use it in my ambulances. There was time I was using only this for ventilation in my unit. And believe me, they work fine. People say there will end-tidal volume will be there, a lot of dead space will be there, but the neutral HMEs, it really work fine. They have worked fine for me. I'm afraid being a single person setup, there are times which I feel I should do a study, I should do that, but I'm not able to. But I can tell you my experience. Some would say that counts to nothing, but okay, I'm sharing my experience, it's up to you. So this is one of the ambulances, the 2000 ambulance, which we, the first was in 2004, second was 2007. After 3 years, we made a first one. We had made modification, we have changed as per the experiences that we have learned. It had a transport incubator, and it also had a radiant warmer. To transfer both, and we can also transfer two new units at one time if the need arises. This was a ventilator unit and the multi-para monitor. We all know the importance of CPAP therapy, which is highly recommended during transportation. It is the CPAP which keeps the alveoli open. CPAP, CPAP, CPAP. The only answer to many of the problems is CPAP. So how do we provide that? When transport ventilator is not available, we can always use the airborne device, HHFNC. See, bubble CPAP, easier said than done in a moving ambulance. You use you have to use a blender. Again, the problem, no, you can't use a blender because you don't have an air cylinder with you, but you want to give a blended oxygen. You don't want to go up on your oxygen. You can't want to run the baby on 100% oxygen. So good answer is airborne device, HHFNC, which provides HHFNC. Power consumption, however, is 240 watts nearly. Then another method is we can provide CPR by using a TP resuscitator. You can see all of us are aware of it. Very easy. It will provide PEEP, and with the pressing of a thumb or finger, it can also provide PIP. Then, when even this is not right, so the problem with this is TPs is over the years it's become very expensive. Initially used to cost nearly 20,000-30,000. Now they are charging 60,000, 70,000, 80,000. And if you open these up, you will find what is there inside? Why are they charging so much? Because it is a hype which has been created. And there's a problem. Hype has been created, now they're overcharging. Everybody says, yeah, TP is so chahiye. And even in RP classes, they teach us TP's device. So that's the problem is. Even this you cannot give blended oxygen to it, because there's only one outlet, unless you use a blender. So that can only be used in a labor room, not in a running ambulance. So when we cannot afford to buy TPs, we can go for a flow inflating bag. See, trouble is the same. We can't use a blended oxygen, but there is a small hole over here. I'm not able to show you. Maybe next I will show. There's a small here. There's a small, so that we can, by Venturi effect, if the oxygen saturation is going good, so we can just, there is a valve over there. We can just unscrew it, and by the Venturi effect, air will go inside. To some extent, little bit of blending can be done. So this can be used like in this manner to provide CPR when TP resuscitator is not available. And when we give bag and mask, see, when we give bag and mask, we provide PIP. But what the baby needs above PIP is most importantly PWP, which sadly a bag and mask do not provide. So now these PEEP valves are available. It get attached to a very easy get attached. It's from my own unit. Yeah, these PEEP valve get attached to ambu bag, and now when you bag, there is you can say 5, 10, jo bhi chahiye. You can adjust over here, and we always give bag and mask by using a PEEP valve. We do not give open just by giving the ambu bag. Monitoring transportation is very important. At least temperature, heart rate, respiratory rate, NIBP, and ECG if possible. So multipara preferable, and handheld pulse oximeter with Masimo technology are to be preferred, because when the motion artifact is there, often we are not able to pick up the good recordings, and often they keep on changing. So, and even the baby is in shock, because the Masimo effect, the pulse ox will pick up the pulsations, and tough drop proof pulse ox are also preferred. Many companies are giving. They show you utha ke phek do, doesn't break. So we prefer those in our ambulances. Now let me give you a scenario. We receive an urgent call to attend a delivery. The ambulance reaches the hospital conducting the delivery. The driver passes the ambulance, goes behind to open the ambulance door. Doctor and staff takes out the resuscitation equipment, portable oxygen cylinders, etc., and they rush inside, go inside the hospital to attend the delivery. Fine, routine scenario. Now, another scenario, call is received and parking slot is full. See, where do you park your ambulance? So, driver is finding a place, kahan gaadi khada karu? Because ambulance cannot be stopped on a busy road. With so many vehicles honking you, how can you stop an ambulance on the road? How can a driver go behind to open the door of the ambulance ki chalo saman leke jao? So, what is the solution to this? The solution is a tackle box and a portable oxygen cylinder. Tackle box contains all the emergency medicines for resuscitation, ambu bag, oxygen pipe, everything what you may need to attend a serious patient, a newborn. And this is placed just beside the driver. See, we have made a small provision for this. This tackle box fits easily, so it will not move, it will not hurt your knees, and since compressed air cylinder is there. So it is, you reach the space, just stop. A doctor will just take out the emergency bag and the portable cylinder, and they rush to the baby who needs your services more than to waste time on the road finding a parking place. So that gives ample time for the driver to find a parking place. Driver ढूंढता रहेगा जगह जहाँ भी उसको गाड़ी लगानी है. Infusion pumps are very much important for accurate IV infusions. We had in the first ambulance we had it like this, and now we are having 5 infusion pumps in our new ambulances. An aluminum cage is used for holding IV bottles, so they do not fall. And previously No, IV bottles used to be made of glass bottles were used. And now with the time, good plastic, I shouldn't say plastic, PVC and other bottles are available now. I've forgotten the name of the material. These are not, so even if they drop, they won't hurt much. They will hurt by their weight, but at least they will not give you as much hurt as used to with the glass bottles. And there was an aluminum cage holding these bottles, just in case. There should be ample storage space of medicines, fluids, and disposables. And checklist is to be added and checked and documented daily. Heavens forbid you need some drug on the way and oh, it to hai nahi hamare paas. There are no medical stores on the way. And patient may slip out of the hand if you are searching for the medicine. And it also creates a very bad impression in front of relatives. Dawai nahi hai, bachcha serious ho gaya, they don't have the medicine. And if the baby somehow doesn't make it to the center, oh, isliye mar gaya, mere bachche dawa nahi mili. So there should be ample storage and checklist should be checked and documented daily. And in the heat of the moment, many of us, we make mistakes in the calculations. Many times when doctors are not able to, we are not to send doctor because of one reason, at least we send a trained compounder. So there are accurate pre-calculated dosing charts in ml per kg. भाई इसको dopamine 6 microgram पे 6 mics पे दे देना. It is easy to say, then to make, then to calculate. So in the heat of the moment, you can't do the calculation in your head at many of us. Even to this day, I'm not very good at mathematics. That's why I probably became a doctor. So we put in ml per kg. If you want to give dopamine, this is the conversion factor. Say we have say 20 by 100, 0.2 ml per kg, and diluted up to 20, give it this rate. So we have made it ml per kg, and they're pasted. This is Radon warmer, and one wall we are used for pasting these doses in ml per kg as per dose, as per weight. 1 kg में इतना देना है, 2 kg में इतना, then they keep on multiplying. We put 1 kg weight में कितना जाएगा तो 2 में अपने आप वो लोग calculate इतना तो कर सकते हैं वो लोग. So this becomes very easy and there are no medication errors. Now the power requirements in the ambulance is very high in comparison to the adult ambulance. To give you an example, a transfer incubator consumes around 200 watts with a battery backup of 1 to 2 hours, ventilator 50 to 150 watts, syringe infusion pumps 25 watts each. Urine warmer 600 watts with no battery backup. Airway HFNC 240 watts, no battery backup. Humidifier 240 watts, no battery backup. So you can see the huge requirement of power requirement. And this is not for 1 hour. This is to continue for 5, 6, 7 hours at times. So a sine wave inverter has to be installed. Because sine wave means then you will not give it in the fluctuation while supplying. At least 1 kVA sine wave inverter is needed. And our aim should be to keep a backup at least 12 hours. It may not happen so practically, but at least our aim should be 120 hours. So we use 12-volt batteries, 150 amperes each, 2 in number. That is the minimum that we need. And we have to find a place to put these batteries. This doesn't occupy a lot of space, inverter, but the batteries, they do occupy a lot of space. So that was our first ambulance. Now we are going for the tubular batteries. Advantage of the tubular battery is it is multi-tube. There's increased surface area of the positive plate. So less maintenance, longer durability, and the power is increased up to 180 amperes. So now we are running a 1.8 kVA inverter in our ambulance. So that fulfills most of our requirements and we are at peace of mind. And one more thing is, we should always remember when the battery is drained, for recharging a battery, it will take nearly 3 to 4 hours. When you come back from an ambulance call, you should always remember in mind. Pehla kaam kya karo? Run driver, you put the ambulance, power them, and put the charger to the main electrical point. That ambulance starts getting charged. Very important thing. I mean, it takes 3 to 4 times. So in the failure of breakdown, the worst scenario possible. So there is a breakdown in the inverter supply. Now what is going to happen? Infusion pumps, they do have a backup of 3 to 4 hours. So that will run for some time. No worry. You can always adjust by drip rate also. But the worst thing could happen is the incubator will stop. So that will be very much hurry from baby's point of view, that will is a very serious thing. So a converter, during the fabrication, a converter should be attached to the alternator of the ambulance battery. So in case of worst scenario, the equipment drop out from the ambulance battery in emergency. So there is in the ambulance there is a battery which runs all the power supply. So we add a converter to that particular battery. Ambulance is moving, battery is getting charged, ambulance battery is getting charged. So from that the incubator will run. Electrical safety is a very important thing. With so many equipments going inside, so many working together, and so many connections and all that. Electrical safety is the first and the foremost thing. Most of the fire incidents in ambulances occurred because of the sparkings and because of the not paying heed to the electrical safety. So there should be a separate MCBs, miniature circuit breakers, for each vital equipment. In our ambulance, we will see we have got an incubator, we have got a radiant valve, we have got pump. For every equipment, incubator is a different, for radiant valve is different. Everyone has a major equipment has got one MCB. So that which will problem, this will trip. Others will keep on running. Otherwise, if we keep one MCB, if trips, now you do not know where the fault is. What happened? You're trying to find what you kya hua, kyun MCB gir gaya, kya ho gaya? And in the heat of the moment, some will move there, they will again push it up. Kaam shuru, baby is serious. And that will cause fire injury. That will cause short circuit to more extent leading to fire. And in moving ambulance, you can imagine full with petrol and everything. So lot of MCB should be installed to take power of the for the electrical safety. Fire safety, fire extinguisher should be placed near the exit, not here. You can't go inside to take out the cylinder when ambulance has some sort of a problem. It should be here only, at the exit. Jaldi se kholo aur nikalo, extinguish the fire. Asepsis is very, very important aspect. Sari khudai ek taraf, infection ek taraf. We have all learned it the very hard way, the bitter way. So adequate hand rub lotion should be there in every ambulance. You can't wash your hands all the time, but at least you can rub your hands every time. So, and lot of disposals should be there. And there should be routine disinfection after each transportation and fumigation after every septic patient transport. So this was our ambulance, which was commissioned 2004. It had a radium warmer, a combo bat, sine wave inverter, multi-para, syringe infusion pump. At those times, we also used to have this infusion pump. The other one, this is a syringe infusion which are preferred these days. There was a battery place, oxygen cylinders, and it also had drawers for keeping the disposables and everything. For keeping the everything. That is how we used to run our ambulance. And we got a restrainer to retain, so things do not fall off while the ambulance is on a bumpy road. In the 2007 ambulance, after 3 years hence, we made certain modifications. As you can see, it looks more spacious. We can stand in this ambulance. In the previous ambulance, we could not stand. This we can stand. So then we made another one in 2012, a few more modifications. And then we made one in 2019. This I will take you in detail. This was how the ambulance was given to us from the Force Motors, from the Tata Winger, Tata person. We can't transport a newborn safely in this. So what we did was, we stripped everything. We took out everything which was inside. And we modified this for the neutral ambulance in our own hospital backyard. See, there were persons who were working. You had some persons and all that. And we are trying to manufacture it, trying to do all these things. And gradually the ambulance is taking shape, as you can see. And finally, the picture is like this. This is the ambulance which we modified and made in our own backyard in 2019. So what does it have? It has a radiant incubator. It has got a radiant warmer. This is the final picture. I'll keep more details later. I will see in details. See, now you can see more clearly, I think, this slide. It has got a transport incubator. It has got a radiant warmer. See, one of the major problem at our place is cold winter months. As I said before, these ambulances don't have a heating source. So how to keep the ambulance ambient temperature high inside, because it is very cold for the doctors, even for the babies. How would the incubator work, and how would the radiant warmer will definitely not work if the ambient temperature is not around 19. So we have placed a radiant warmer inside. This is a lullaby warmer which we have taken, modified, and we have placed it in our ambulance. This serves two purposes. One thing is there are two babies. Yes, there is another bed. We have another bed to keep that baby. And secondly, people are putting small heaters. What people are doing to escape from the harsh winters. So they are keeping small heaters inside the ambulance, and I tell you, it is most hazardous thing to have a heater. So this we make it on 100% power, and gradually it's beautiful how the ambulance warms up. The whole room warms up gradually. So this serves both the purposes. And then we have got a lot of infusion pumps, 5 of them. And there is oxygen outlet for three oxygen outlets, and transfer ventilator. See how is it beautifully it has been placed. We have found a place for the transfer incubator also, ventilator also. And we have got a multi-para, a storage cabinet and drawers. And there are multiple electrical points. There are 8 of it in this particular ambulance. There's a TP resuscitator also. If the need is there, it has been fitted over here. And we have to stock the ambulance essential supplies. I won't go into the detail, but this is a checklist that we check every day. Then how do you organize a team, which is very important? Doctor or staff and a trained paramedic, or trained paramedic and a trained staff and a paramedic. It depends upon the call and our availability of the doctors. So usually our team includes a doctor and a staff who are well-versed in intubation, airway management, neutral resuscitation, intravenous umbilical cannulation, placement of pneumothorax tubes, ventilated babies management, and surfactant administration if the need arises to be. Our team is picked from the nursery floor to minimize the response time. It is a unit-based team. Response time, our aim is, should be less than 10 minutes for a long distance call and within 3 minutes for a local call. It is important. हम अपना ऐसे नापते हैं how good we are. इतने में गाड़ी निकली कि नहीं निकली? तो I see my mobile कितने बजे कॉल आई और गाड़ी कितने बाहर निकली. And we try to analyze what went wrong, why it took such a long time, what happened, if there is a long delay. Then we try to rectify those things. What has happened, what exactly has gone wrong, why these things happen. 8 minutes लग गया, 10 minutes लग गया ambulance को निकलने कॉल आने के बाद for a local call. And we should always do the assessment, pre-transport stabilization and care during the transport. For the pre-transport assessment, there are so many methodology. We use stops. Temperature, we correct the hypothermia. Oxygenation, maintain the airway patency, elective airway intubation if we think the baby may deteriorate on the way, and we give a respiratory support either by CPAP, bag and mask. We see the perfusion, heart rate, CRT, BP, IV. We give bolus. We start bolus here, there in the nursery itself, where we are in the setup where we are going to receive the baby. Sugar should be more than 40, and 1 extra intracath should be inserted before transportation. See the intracaths which are already there. So we receive a lot of call from the babies. Baby is deteriorating, please come and take this baby to your setup. So that cath may be out, maybe extra visiting, and we learn to this horror while the ambulance is moving, and it's difficult to put an intracath in a moving ambulance. You try to stop the ambulance on the way to put an intracath. All the relatives are watching over your shoulders. कैसे लगा रहे क्या थे लोग? And mind you, these babies are in shock. So many times this attempt is not very successful at one go. So it is better to put intracath there, the setup where you're going to receive the baby. And swoop and scoop. You took the baby, scoop, and we ran. This is strongly discouraged. We should try to maintain to prevent hypoglycemia during the transportation. And we have got this or analyzer. Until it worked, it's not working now. Until it worked, we used to send this on our long distance calls. So the patient will come to us in 3 to 4 hours. So what would happen in between? So they will carry 2 cartridges and they will do the ABG there itself at the center only. Because ABG facility is not available everywhere. So that will give us a lot of input. What to manage, how to manage, and how should we proceed to. So we used to do that. And now this thing is thoda kharab ho gaya, so we are not using it now. And father organization, the father, mother or a close relative, they must accompany. Please don't make this mistake कि आप डॉक्टर साहब चलो लेके हम बच्चे हम पीछे से आ रहे हैं. Never do that. Then say बच्चा उठा के ले आए. हमको तो पता ही नहीं था बच्चा उठा के ले आए. So they should be there in the ambulance. One person should be there जो साथ में चले. Consent should be taken, and when you give the consent, you tell them कि our problem is we are in the private setup. If you go to a place and we tell them ये बच्चा तो बहुत सीरियस है, बचने की उम्मीद नहीं है और हम ले जाते हैं और ये और कुछ हमसे कहना मत, तो वो डॉक्टर हम तो नहीं लेके जाएंगे. डॉक्टर जी यार तेरे को इसलिए बुलाया कि बच्चे यहाँ से लेके जा, तेरे को इसलिए बुलाया कि यू आर क्रिएटिंग ट्रबल फॉर मी. So we give them a little bit of balance. You see, the baby is serious. He is receiving good treatment. We have gone through the treatment. He is doing fine. You're doing fine. But he needs some more treatment, some more facilities which are not available here. So the doctor has called us and we are consulting with him and we are planning for for a transfer, because you know your baby is serious and he has to be referred because he is serious. Otherwise, the doctor would not have referred you. So there are a little bit of, there are chances that maybe may deteriorate on the way before we reach to the setup, and that is a risk that we should carry. So please consent to that risk, give us your consent, come ready, and we also tell them the probable charges there. See, patient, a serious patient comes to your hospital, sir, हम तो पैसे लाए नहीं है, we don't have the money. Now आप फंस गए, बच्चा आ गया, you are not charging, and above you are giving, you can't stop the treatment. So you are putting medicines, you are putting everything, and सब आ रहे हैं, and people also are very, very cunning. Then यार बच्चा तो बिगड़ा हुआ है ना, he may not survive, तो इससे पैसे हैं नहीं, सब आ रहे, they have the money, पैसे है ही नहीं सब, हम तो ला रहे हैं, you 2, 3, 5 घंटे निकाल दे, we be surviving, okay, we'll pay, they don't, सब है ही नहीं. What do? You can't do much. So it is better you tell them, please carry at least this much amount with you, the minimum amount with you, and this will be deposited, and we have to spend a little bit of this. You give a rough idea so that they don't go, yaar, hame to pata hai nahi kitne paise kharch jayenge. And family members should be seated in the front cabin with the driver, not in the patient's cabin, not in the patient's area. And proper documentation should be done during the transportation. And what is communication during transport? To my mind, it is a sharing of image. A doctor, junior doctor goes there, a staff goes there to retrieve a baby. So he should share image with us. He should send a live streaming videos to us before moving out. Yes, sir, ये condition बच्चे की चल रही है. And they should communicate with the doctor or the senior staff of the referral center. He said, this is the position, this baby is going to, this is the video, have a look, so that we can also assess on our, the baby is coming, what more else we have to keep ready at our place. And we keep a bed infusion equipment ready. See, we are a bit panicky. The already dopamine infusion going on at some centers, dopamine is going on, adrenaline is going on. And now we think that they may not have been prepared aseptically. I do not want to introduce infection in our nursery from those. So what we do, 3 kg ka bachcha aa raha hai, he's having adrenaline, dopamine, so and so and so. And that infusion is prepared, already prepared in our nursery. It's prepared before, and baby is coming, uska hataya, apna lagaya. That's all. There's no recession in the rate, because we know beforehand the baby is coming. And we can initiate an early therapies in transportation itself, and transport team should be given a simulation. We often do that. मान लो बच्चे लेके जा रहे हो, how would you do, कैसे करोगे? We try to maintain. This is a WhatsApp group, and this is a group of doctors. So one of the doctor has sent baby Ritu, age 1 day, LSCS, saturation not maintained, health distress from this hospital, this coming by ambulance. So we get a rough idea and we see the visual also. ऐसा बच्चा आ रहा है, चलो then we हाँ ये तैयार करके रखो. There is no rush when the patient come. He was good in the ambulance and now in the nursery. Oh, अभी तो बेड ही तैयार नहीं हुआ है. अब ये भी चाहिए, वो भी चाहिए. Oh, that is harrowing. So, and I think this particular slide, I devote this slide to Dr. Amitabh Sen Gupta ji. He is the one person who has taught us developmental supportive care during transportation. So I really owe to you, I'm indebted. We do this in our transportation also. How do we do that? We do a nesting of the baby. You need the incubator, we do nesting of the baby. See, this is from my own ambulance. The nesting is there. There is a proper pillow to give support to the head. Extra lights in the cabins are switched off. And there is a siren. See, with the ambulance, it moves on the road. There is a siren, wailing of the siren. There are 2 types of siren, or 3 types of siren. One is dang, 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 dang. Very irritating. Not only to the passerby, but to the baby also. Imagine a baby of PPHN. Listen to this sound all the way to the referral center. Dang, 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 dang. It will increase PPHN. So our instruction to the staff and the driver is, to the driver especially is, you use the siren which has got, we use this siren. Specifically, they've been told only use this alarm. Don't use the other one. And don't use it all on the way. The road is clear. Why are you wailing an alarm? Put your alarm down. Put it to the minimum, just stop it. And if you anticipate कि आगे जाके दिख रहा है कि भीड़ भाड़ दिख रही है, traffic is going to come in. Now you increase slowly. People will respond to it. If they are not responding, then okay, it is our bad luck. So we can increase the sound. We go this way. Otherwise, we keep it and we don't put on the siren. Only thing when we anticipate, and we do the minimum handling of the baby during transportation. And one more thing, how does the baby is coming in the ambulance? There are so many ambulances going on the road. How do I know our ambulance is arrived? We can't stand की बारात आ रही है, सब बाराती खड़े हो जाओ वहाँ पे, बारात आ रही है फूल माला लेके. You cannot do that. So what we devise the system is alarm with the ambulance coming about 100 meters away or so. It gives a ting, and when it comes to the it stops. Tuck. Everybody knows. The alarm says if the siren is stopped, oh, this is our ambulance which is arrived. And everybody rushes out. कि चलो 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 बच्चे को help करने चले. So we have devised this method. And I owe to you, Dr. Amitabh Singh Gupta sir, for giving these insights. And we are trying to put it in our transportation. And documentation is very much important. At least try to maintain BPP and everything should be there. And there should be a situation in transportation, detection, management of pneumothorax. And we have to have some measures to do the interventions during the transportation. It's a relief of pneumothorax, one of those things. And in one of the ambulances, we had a turntable. We had made a turntable. Supposing baby needs emergency intubation. See, in this incubator, it's very difficult to intubate a baby. So this was a turntable. You take the baby out, put it here. It will rotate, and then you intubate and put the baby inside. So we use it in one ambulance. I don't know how effective it is, but we did try that in one of the ambulance. And sorry. And surfactant therapy, usually we do not prefer. It's only preferred if the transport distance is very long, and then we think the baby's X-ray shows a very wrong, the sort of deterioration is there in the X-ray, and FOT is more than 0.4 on CPAP. In a travel distance short, we usually delay the surfactant therapy till it arrives at our hospital. In meconium babies, in HI babies, we usually give therapeutic hypothermia on the way. We take this with this, and even we tell the doctors also, you put the baby on Miracle, use the Miracle, bring the baby, because the initial hours are important. First 6 hours are the most important thing. So we do not want to lose those hours without cooling on the way. But then if it is not available, we do not warm the baby. We give a passive cooling. These are the things of the future, handheld ultrasonographies. Probably in years to come, yes, not now at the moment. They are not available in India because of the other reasons. And medical legals, very important thing. We can have a consumer forum CPA if we employ such ambulance. See, it is a responsibility of the referral doctor also to give a ambulance which has, as per the law, the same facilities that are available, at least same or more facilities than they were available at the referral center. So if we send it by this, he may sue us. ऐसे बेकार ambulance में बच्चे को हमारे भेज दिया ना, baby died on the way. And courts do not take lightly. This को क्या ऐसे में कैसे निकाल दिया? तो आपने निकाल दिया उसको, आपने उसको केयर थोड़ी किया, आपने उसको अपने से भगा दिया अपने यहाँ. And vehicles must be registered as ambulance under Motor Vehicle Act. Otherwise, no insurance claim entertained other than third party insurance. ये हमने बहुत मुश्किल से सीखा. Because initially Omni ambulance was not ambulance, it was Omni गाड़ी. We purchased a गाड़ी, said why to pay 30,000, 40,000 extra for an oxygen cylinder? Anyway, we have to modify it. But later on, we learned to our dismay, if our somehow गाड़ी gets accidented, insurance company will not pay you the any amount. They said, no, this is not an ambulance. This is a simple vehicle. You are using it as an ambulance now. So you can be liable for criminal act also. And they should proper maintenance of vehicle and equipment, written consent before transportation, proper documentation is set, develop proper transportation team, and heavens forbid, if the baby dies on the way. See, this is UP. This is not a sophisticated Western country. You stop the ambulance, communicate among themselves, धीरे से इशारे से, you stop the ambulance at the nearest police picket or a police station, prefer to avoid nuisance. अब ये नहीं करो गाड़ी रोक के रास्ते में, भैया बच्चा तो खत्म हो गया. You never do that. चुप रहो, बैग वैग लगाते रहो, जो करना है. ये नियरेस्ट पुलिस पिकेट और पुलिस स्टेशन आ जाए, तब गाड़ी को धीरे से अंदर ले जाओ, वहाँ गाड़ी रोको. नाउ एक्सप्लेन टू रिलेटिव ऐसा ऐसा हो गया बच्चे को. If they want, if the nuisance, at least the nuisance will be handled by the police well, then by you on the road. And if they are not willing to further travel, we can give a death certificate. Always be ready for the next call. You never know when the next call comes. So during transportation, see, we have placed a small container at the floor of the ambulance. During transportation, all consumed injectables and disposables, जो भी इसके डब्बे हैं, they should be thrown in this box only. So that at the end of the journey, we know this has been consumed during the transportation. And We give extra charges to our staff when they go for the ambulance service, and they charge are reimbursed only when they give us in writing कि हमने सब दवाइयाँ replace कर दी हैं, ये सब हमारी निकल के आई थी, these have all been replaced from the nursery store, and it has been given कि हाँ this have been replaced, and then we give हाँ चलो तुम्हारे कॉल के पैसे बनते हैं, पैसे तुम ले लो. Otherwise there was a lot of problem because the staff also come back exhausted. This year अब तो आ गया, चलो छोड़ यार, हम तो जा रहे हैं, अपना कॉल पूरी. Call is not पूरी now, you have to prepare for the next one also. So we have devised this method, and there was a problem. ये नहीं मिल रहा, वो नहीं मिल रहा, क्योंकि वो अगला करेगा, फिर ढूंढते रहे कौन गया था पहली कॉल में, and then you try to find the faults, and all. It's better not to avoid this. This is a very important thing. Then this checklist should be prepared, should be checked every day and signed, duly signed. This we have checked. This we do it very religiously, and always be ready. What we do is put all portable oxygen cylinders are to be refilled immediately after the call, and our policy is to replace a jumbo cylinder with a new one after every transportation. We do not say इसमें कितनी ऑक्सीजन बची हुई है, हाँ कि 120 थी तो सब 100 रह गई है, 60 है, अभी तो चल जाएगी एक कॉल में और. We don't really do that. Even we remove the cylinder and we put a fresh new cylinder with 120 psi. Partially empty cylinders are then used for hospital central oxygen line. We do it this way. We have zero tolerance to running out of oxygen on the way. And routine disinfection of the incubator, infusion pump surface after each transport. This is to be done by the same compounder who has taken the patient for that particular call. And we do fumigation after every septic patient. A driver should also be given a checklist. गाड़ी चलाते हुए क्या प्रॉब्लम हुआ, सर वो आवाज कर रहा था, ये कर रहा था, वो कर रहा था, अभी ठीक करा लेंगे अगली बार में. ये नहीं अगली बार भी उसी गाड़ी को लेके चले गए और पता है अब तो गाड़ी रास्ते में खड़ी हुई, सब पहले वाले में था ना उसमें, and that driver was not told you अरे there was a problem. Now what we do on the way the ambulance stops. So it is better कि you give us a rating of सब उसको ठीक चल रहा है, this is checklist, सब steering wheel ठीक था, clutch ठीक था, brake ठीक थे, everything is going on fine, we are ready for the next call. ये driver देखा जो वो coming back. And road safety is another very important issue. As I said before, monocoque suspension guardians are preferred, and we should try to wear a safety belt all the time, though it may not be possible every time because the position का difference होता है. And we do not neglect the routine service of the ambulance. And though ambulance is allowed to speed, you take over the speed, nobody stops, police doesn't stop you over speeding के लिए. But every increase of speed by 10 kilometers per hour, we increase the risk of accident by 4 times. See, 60 up, 70, 80 पे लगे, there are 8 times chances you will get accidented. Ambulance doesn't mean it will be accident proof गाड़ी. It will not be. So I tell them, why are you hurrying? Why don't you keep within the speed? You already been pre-stabilized. You have transport pre-transport stabilization has already been done. So what's the hurry? What will you going to gain of doing over speeding? Maybe you gain 5 or 10 minutes, but you're increasing your risk by 8 to 10 times. Why are you doing that? So please do not rush your ambulance. And at times I have checked my drivers also. We are coming from somewhere, our ambulance is going back to the top speed. Wait, क्या बात है? क्या बात है? बच्चा serious? Why serious? You are already stabilizing it inside the ambulance. Doctor is there. Please don't overspeed. And in a dire circumstances, please don't overspeed more than 15-20 kilometers above the prescribed limit. So we have to fix everything in the equipment. Everything has to be securely taped. Either it is phone, it is oxygen cylinder, watch, whatever. Everything has to be secure, so that if there is sudden braking, ये सब चीज उड़ के आगे ना निकल जाए, बच्चे को नुकसान ना हो जाए. It's very important. Even the radiant warmer that we have seen, this is a radiant warmer. It has been very secured using crossbar to prevent projectile injuries. And we should also cushion the babies. We can put up, as I said, so see in this slide, this gives a lot of cushioning also. Sorry, I'm going back just to emphasize on this point. See this one. See, a lot of cushioning is there. And we have not shown this, another one over here also, small cushion. So soft, these are soft clothes. They will at least cushion some effect. These are all boundaries which will at least cushion some effect. Okay. And there are Neorestraint and Paraid medicals, they are available in the market. Unfortunately, we don't have them. And do not attempt to feed a sick baby during transportation. IV fluids are more preferred. And another very sad aspect, we are in private practice. have been taken for ride. We are going by the relatives. We receive a call. It has taken us an hour to reach there. At 50 minutes, doctor says, sir, वो तो call cancel कर रहे हैं. They are वो कह रहे बच्चे कहीं और ले जाएंगे या वो बच्चे को नहीं ले जाना चाहते हैं. Now what we do? You have taken a doctor out from the floor. You have taken staff from the floor. Now we have put our services and we are about to reach them. And the worst is, we tell them कि पैसे advance में जमा करा लो, एम्बुलेंस भेज रहे हैं यहाँ से. अब वो डॉक्टर से they are fighting with that doctor कि just give us back our money that was deposited. जो हम पैसा जमा किया था वापस करो हमारे एम्बुलेंस, हमको नहीं, हमें नहीं चाहिए एम्बुलेंस. And because that baby is also serious, that doctor also is under pressure. What do we do? It's a stalemate. You also cannot say, doctor, paisa dilwao humko. He is already under pressure. So what do we do? So until few years, this was a problem. But now, we have put up a Paytm. Whosoever wants to book our ambulance, please do payment on the Paytm first. So now the money is at least with us. This helps in many ways. One thing, the call is secured. Now there won't be any change of mind suddenly. And thirdly, if they change their mind, at least we have the solace कि चलो कोई बात नहीं किया, नहीं जाना है. At least ये solace है कि पैसा तो कम से कम आ गया है उसका. Because running an ambulance needs money. It's not a simple car कि चलो पेट्रोल के पैसे खर्च हो गए. But to maintain every equipment has got his AMC charges and everything. So they have started doing this. Track record of neonatal ambulances is so far we have these ambulances are with us. We have so far transported 5,611 babies, covering a distance of only 6,93,000. So far we have not been able to face any medical complication. The longest journey that we have covered was from Bareilly to Chandigarh, nearly a distance of 607 kilometers, and that was small baby 700 grammer. Their relatives were there in Chandigarh, so हम सब वहाँ ज़्यादा अच्छा manage कर लेंगे. So that baby reached there safely. That was one record that we always fondly remember. So this is our record, and a safe, properly nuclear transportation, highly rewarding. See this baby, it was 550 gram only, and now he's 1 year old. So happy, baby Sabha Parveen. He was 550 gram at the time of birth. So he was translated to us. And before I end my talk, I wish to thank my teachers, Madam A.B. Desai, Madam S.N. Vani, Madam, my own sir, M.J. Mehta sir, late, he's no longer there, and so many teachers. The teachers at Gangaram Hospital, from where I have received many of my training. I fondly remember Satish Saluja sir, Neelam Clare, Dr. Anup, Dr. Soni, Pankaj Garg, so many people who has taught us real neonatology. And my mentors. I thank you, Dr. Vikram sir, because I have been doing this since last 17 years. I think you gave me the opportunity to showcase what I'm doing, what is my thought process, what I have done on this. I think you are the one. I really thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my views, to present my ideas. There may be faults, but this is the way we have done it. These are references we have gone through while preparing these preparations. And as I said before, properly transported, nearly transported, highly rewarding. Thank you so much. I wait the questions.